What's up, man? What you been doing these days?
Fuck, man. A lot of recording, a lot of stuff. We had it's a big year. We had a live stoner record that's going to come out. New Brant Bjork Trio record's on the way. Rubber Snake Charmers record came out just a few months ago, maybe. Like, shit, I can't remember now, but definitely recently. That Rubber Snake Charmers from Australia a few years back. So a lot of cool things have happened real quick this year. So we've been staying busy.
So you've been in the studio for...
Well, we were in the studio back in February. The Snake Charmers was a live record in Australia.
Okay.
And the Stoner record was live in Italy from 2 years ago. And we're going to be at the Alto Quandro, I think it's called. So we'll be there again, I think in about a week or something. So
you're going to do the tour the rest of the year?
Yeah. We got Japan coming up.
Nice.
Yeah.
First time or?
First time.
First time in Japan.
Can't wait.
Nice, man. So 3 records in a year.
Yeah.
Is that a record?
That's a record.
That's a record. So you've been using what in the studio? What drums?
I've been using Brant's Kaya's kit for the kicks and toms. His old Kaya's kit. It's man, it's a classic kit that he's been using a long time. A bunch of cool drummers have used that kit over the years, so I'm very stoked to have been able to play those drums in the studio again. And then I got myself some really nice old Avitas vintage cymbals for the last record, and I'm playing them now.
Dry
tonight.
ones?
Yeah, like they're just there's Avitas, just from the 70s era-ish. It's hard to date them exactly, but I know they're
That's new ones or old ones?
They're old, but
old
new
ones.
to me.
Okay, but you like using old ones?
I love them. It's so much fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what's on the new Brant Bjork Trio record.
Nice. And regular question for the album: what they can expect from it? What are we talking about?
Just heavy groove, good vibes, man. We're having a great time. The band is together. We recorded it together, so it's got that real cohesive live kind of feeling, even though it's in the studio.
Okay.
And it just foot tapping and grooving and.
You're doing that in the Brant's studio, or you rented some place?
We worked with our friend Schneeby, Matthias Schneeberger. He's worked with Brant before. He was on the Operators record, and so he's got his studio up in Crestline, California, just near the desert. So we went up and worked with him.
So in the neighborhood.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah,
pretty close.
Considered rough SoCal, like right around the mountain, up the hill. We're there.
Someday, we'll see it. Of course, man. So let's go way back. Let's go to your beginnings.
All right.
How to describe it? What we're talking about?
Like musically?
How you're old when you first discovered that sweet thing called rock and roll, or maybe it was something else.
It was jazz. It was big band swing. My grandfather was a big band drummer in Chicago back in the 40s, right after the Second World War, and he was a big influence in my early life. I played saxophone way early. I didn't even play the drums, and just was so stoked to be able to get on the saxophone and he's on the drums. We played at my uncle's wedding, a couple of things like that where it's like, whoa, this is fun. We're making music for people, and I was 10, 11,
I just wanted to ask you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then as time went on, I found the drums when I was in the school bands, and I was just playing for fun. We'd get ready for rehearsal at school, and I'd just hang out and kind of bang on the drums for fun. And then one day, it's we played this song, the old Christmas classic, for our 9th grade thing, and it's the Jingle Bell Rock, and the drummer at the time, God bless him, he couldn't swing. He couldn't just do a swing, and nobody could play the song because it was square. But then I said, I'd like to try. And so I got back behind the kit and I played, and everybody kind of got it. It was oh, it swings, and then
sound like that.
And it sounds like that. And then after that, man, I didn't want to play anything but the drums. So from about my freshman year in high school, I continued to play the saxophone, but developed a love for the drums that is still here
today. And you
today.
already had the drums?
No. The school did. But I ended up getting my own kit in high school right when I graduated. My own band we had already formed. It was called Hammerface. There's some stuff on iTunes. It was a cool band. It was a lot of fun band. We worked with Sylvia Massey. Shivy had moved her studio.
My mentor.
Yeah, she moved her studio from LA up to Weed, California, which is where I'm from. It's Mount Shasta is the next town south. So she moved her studio to Weed, and we were just like, oh, we got to work there, and luckily things lined up, and we had a little bit of dough, and we were able to get to her studio and not work with her. She didn't record it or anything, but she came in, kind of produced it a little bit, gave us a little bit of direction and stuff, and that was an amazing like first experience with my band in the studio. So that was like kind of I was hooked.
It's really first big experience. Yeah. It's like working in that place.
And it's right up the street from where I grew up.
All analog gear.
Sorry?
Or all analog gear.
Yeah, they had a Neve console in there. I guess worked on some really some great bands. I forget exactly the history, but I believe it was maybe some Led Zeppelin, some Metallica. I think were recorded. I'm not sure, but being that it was her board, it was. So that was really cool, man. That was my first band out of high school.
So that lasted for how long?
4 or 5 years. We managed to do a little bit of touring in California. We made it to Oregon. We were pretty local, but we managed to do our full record, full album with her, and it came out, and then somehow the band just dissolved. People went their different ways, kids and stuff like that. But we're done. I was playing a lot of music and not really getting anywhere that I felt was where I wanted to be.
Somebody told me that you were a session player.
I did. I worked. My good friend Bradley Cook. He actually recorded Brant in Fu Manchu with The Action Is Go.
Okay.
He worked with Sylvia on Undertow. That was his first gig as an assistant engineer, and his studio was right next to where I lived in Pasadena. And actually, long story, I'll try to make it short. I had moved to LA, and I was just looking for anything and everything that I could possibly do. I was carting drums for other players. I was getting out in the scene and trying to be active. But then I got this Craigslist ad that I found, and it looked like a really fun band. I auditioned, they liked me, they said, let's see what you can do in the studio, and they brought me into the studio, which was Brad Cook's. And he and I hit it off and became good friends, and he started bringing me in for lots of different sessions and projects, and nothing that really was like viable commercially, but it was a great experience to just meet all these new artists and people in his world, and one of them happened to be one of Brant's good friends, Trevor Whatever, produced Black Power Flower with Harper and Trevor. That was
16?
15, I believe that 15. Record. So right when that record came out and Brant was looking for a drummer, Trevor gave him my name through Brad, and so that little connection of Fu Manchu and Brad recording Brant came through to me, and I got introduced to Brant. Went out, had a couple of beers, hung out with him at his hacienda in Joshua Tree, and we kicked some riffs around and had a few pops and got to know each other, and he brought me into the family, so here I am.
So give me the sweet detail. So what was the first like meeting the guy? I know you knew everything about him, as we all do. So what was the first time? Okay, I'm Brant, I'm Ryan.
Yeah, we were,
I know he's a casual guy. And
yeah, he's super chill, man. We were at the hacienda, his hacienda, I forget, he calls it, there's been a few different names for it over the years, but it was up in Joshua Tree, it was the Hacienda House. And I drove out, it was day, it was the weirdest weather in Joshua Tree. Is the fog was like a blanket over the whole desert. It was the weirdest thing I ever saw. It's the only time I've seen it to this day. The fog comes in. I drove into the desert, man. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna meet Brant Bjork, gonna play some music, and like drove up into his little spot there, and he just came out of the hacienda. And he's like, what's up, man? We introduced each other, and we probably rapped out for a good hour before we even touched any instruments, and went into the studio and played a couple little riffs, and dude, that was, I think he knew, like, man, I like this guy's swing. I think he's gonna fit. So we ended up hanging out the next day with Dave Dinsmore, and then Bubba came down a little later, and just like, yeah, man, he's just very, I mean, we're both being a little personal, I guess, but we're both adopted people. And so we kind of connected a little, at least I did. I don't want to speak for him, but I know that we have a kind of a connection there that's a little different than most people can maybe relate, or if you haven't sort of experienced this feeling of like, gosh, I don't quite know where I fit, and I'm kind of looking all the time. I'm a searcher, I'm a lover, I'm like looking for, you know, and so Brant was like, I think he recognized that there's a little more than like, hey, we're playing music, but we're also, I think, there's a brotherhood there. There's a personal kind of feeling of like, man,
sounds like that.
This is my family. You know, I found my tribe, as it were, in the stoner lyrics. You know, we found
as we can feel it.
Yeah.
As we can hear it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's how I can sum that up, man. Brant was very welcoming and opening, and we got right to work, and shit, I probably was hanging out for no more than a few months, and we played Coachella, our first gig together, and then not soon after that, he brought me out here to Europe. We played Desert Fest Berlin. This happened all so fast, you know. So
it sounds fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Coachella to Berlin to everything. So from the start, have you recorded the drum with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a couple records that didn't use us, but Dow the Devil and the Europe 16 were both recorded in that first year or so of playing, and then the Stoner records, obviously, and the Bougainvillea Suite, I played keyboards for him, which was fun.
You also play keyboards.
I play keyboards.
You forget
too.
I forgot
about that. Yeah, that's my first instrument was the piano, so the piano was kind of what started it.
Stop being history, man. It's from piano to saxophone to drums.
Yeah. That's the piano was actually the piano was like, I took lessons, and it was a great experience, and I learned how to read music and all that stuff. But then the saxophone was like.
But you can use it in playing drums.
Exactly.
You can see.
I still play.
Do you recognize any of guitar or bass playing? You can recognize the chords. You can recognize progression.
Yeah. When I had to get I went back to school in Southern Oregon. I went up to the university there and studied for 3 years with a really cool cat named Terry Longshore, and he's a very much nothing rock and roll or anything. Mostly jazz, world type music. I played a lot of marimba, a lot of like percussion that wasn't drum kit, you know. The marimba especially was so much fun because it's such a rare instrument, you know. And so that experience, it was great. And then I'm ready to get back to rock and roll. So
you also play marimba and you get your papers.
Got my papers.
So what's your title?
Just a Bachelor of Arts in Music, Performance, and Education.
So you can be a teacher.
Yeah, I have taught, actually. I've taught a little bit over the last 10 years down in the desert. Had a really good time. There's a school down there called the AMP School, nonprofit Academy of Musical Performance. They brought me in for a summer camp. Had a good time working with the drummers there. I taught a band back where I'm from for about a year in high school. I had about 6 kids come in, and we just it's more like, I don't want to force, you know, like, hey, you need to learn to read and write, but more like feel, listen, learn how to communicate, have fun, that kind of stuff. Like,
I get that.
To be ready to work with people, you know.
To be ready to jam.
Yeah. So cool. I love teaching, man. Teaching's a really rewarding experience
and fun thing to do.
Yeah,
inspiring. Yeah. So let's talk about the thing that you hate the most. Give me.
Fuck, man, it's the jet lag. It's like we do our best, we do our, we work hard, but sometimes that jet lag just kills, man.
So you're using also a plane and a van?
Yeah. Luckily not a lot of fly-ins on this one, man. We had a couple where it's just red eye after red eye, and I don't want to say I hate it because, we love being here. It's the job, we signed up, but if there's one thing I could say I hate or that I don't like, it's just
it's weird feeling. You need a few days to.
It's inescapable. You just can't get away from the jet lag. So.
Okay, but on the other thing, best thing.
Like this, being able to connect and hang out with rad dudes, rad folks, guys. I don't want dudes. That's the cut that. I don't want to sound like dudes because we got great guys and gals that come out, and that's what I love about this scene is I love to connect with people and see the reactions of like, man, people are like, some people are like, they're just smiling, and some people are like, oh, I can't believe what I'm, everyone's like, it's everyone's experiencing it in their own way, but everyone is involved and having a good time. And it's the best feeling when you know that the art is connecting and you're helping. We're all going somewhere together that we wouldn't have gone on our own.
The word tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it brings very well.
Our tribe grows with every show.
Man.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. And what do you do when you don't do this?
When I'm not touring?
Or not touring or not playing? What's your hobby?
My hobby is.
Let's call it that.
Yeah, my hobby, dude. I get shit for it sometimes, but I really love disc golf or frisbee golf, as it's called.
Okay.
In fact, right now the European Championships are happening, and I have some friends who are playing in the tournament, and it's one of those. I was a golfer as a kid, but golf is expensive. It's not good for the environment, It's like it's snobby, but disc golf is the opposite. It's like
I never played this.
It's a fun sport. Have you ever thrown a frisbee?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah. So imagine throwing it at a target, and then it hits the target. And it's a basket with chains, and you throw it in from 100 meters. It's like it's
interesting.
Check it out, man. Disc golf, man.
Cool.
It's a very rewarding thing for me. Me and my good friends, we love it, man. We get out in the park, throw discs, have a good time.
Cool. So, the first thing that you do when you set up on your drums?
Like for sound check or
I don't care.
First thing I do,
on the stage.
First thing I do is I try to make sure that everything is as it was. Things get bumped around. I like to have everything dialed to where it's the same every night. I know.
Okay.
Brant talks about tweaking it to make it a little more challenging, but for me, I like to have it the same.
Every night.
I check the tuning. Tuning's really important to me. I don't like the drums to sound any other way than
Are you
how.
going for a high tune or low?
Middle? I'm going for a little bit of the middle. I like a good full round tom sound, big round kick. We're using the 26 on this one. I love the 26 kick.
You're using 26 tonight.
Yeah. Got the 8-inch Black Beauty, the 14x8 Black Beauty, which I love the deep snares, man. But I still keep them a little tight. I love the Ginger Baker type sound, where it's tight, but
on the other hand,
still.
You're the rim shot guy.
Yeah, I love the rim shots, man. Like the jazz and the rock kind of try. I don't know. I love the big stuff. Like when we play Chiefs or somewhere, some woman.
Yeah. So your right hand doing that on the right.
Just kind of keeping it like Rolling Thunder or something, where we can go tight and we can lighten it up, or we can go heavy, and the drums will respond to both.
Nice.
That's what I try to keep it right in that middle.
So let's finish with one thing that's always the worst thing for musicians.
Okay.
Give me one joke about drummers.
All right. I got one.
The best one.
What's the difference between a drummer and an extra large pizza?
Oh, the pizza can feed the family. You're amateur, man.
I don't know any other jokes, man. I mean, shit. Let's see.
Try another one.
What do you call a dude who hangs out with a bunch of musicians?
it's a bass player.
Oh, I don't know shit. I don't like to hate on drummers, man. Basically.
It's always fun. Well, thank you for this.
Cheers,
Thank
brother.
you for the opportunity for this.
Thank you, man.